Well, good morning, Thrive. How's everybody doing? Good. Everybody in the room is doing great. I know we've got several who are at home for different reasons, and we've got a whole online community who are joining us online. Thank you for being a part of Thrive Church Online this morning. We're going to take communion at the tail end of this message, so if you're at home, grab some communion elements, some bread and some juice, or some crackers or pretzels or whatever you've got around, a big old pot of coffee, and just get ready. It's going to be good. I'm excited for communion. This has been a really fun week for Thrive. We got to distribute some shoes this week to Mary McGuire Elementary School, which was awesome. So good to be a part of that shoe project. Our shoe project, if you're not familiar, is designed to raise funds to go straight into the schools and put brand new pair of high quality name brand shoes on these kids' feet and just let them know that they're loved and that they're cared for and that we are for them and we are for our community. And it's a just because gift. And it was so fun this week. It was different than normal. Normally we take just hundreds, it feels like. We take a lot of volunteers with us, and we serve a grade at a time, and we get down on our knees, and we give them their shoes, and we help them try them on and run around the gym with them. This year, because of, or for this project in particular, because of all the COVID restrictions, it was just our staff team that went in. And it was exhausting in a good way. Like, it was so good. We had one class at a time moving in. There was a lot going on. It was awesome. But my favorite parts are seeing the kids light up, watching them run around and just get so excited about how much faster these shoes are than the last pair that they owned. Or one kid, one of my favorites, I was next to Sarah Burkhart, who was putting some shoes on kids, and she said, well, these are the shoes that CMU athletes wear, these ones. And that kid, I swear, I heard it a dozen times as he walked around. Did you know these shoes are worn by CMU athletes? And he went to his other friend, did you know these shoes are worn by CMU athletes? And like, he just went from kid to kid to kid. Like, he was so jazzed. It was so fun. But the principal, Erin, who is just a phenomenal human being, Erin posted something, and I just want to share it with you guys. She said, I don't think I will quite look at shoes the same again. You all brought so much more than shoes. You brought love to our students. You brought hope to our students. You brought comfort. You brought excitement. You provided for our students. You brought joy and laughter and fun. You ignited a spark in them that I hope they carry on to do good just because. The students couldn't believe that these shoes were given. A student couldn't believe that these shoes were given to her when you don't even know her. Another student said her favorite part was that wasn't her shoes in particular, but that everyone was the same. Everyone got a gift. Everyone was on the same level for a little bit in her eyes. Another student said, I've never gotten name brand shoes in my life. Isn't that the kingdom? Do it because of him, capital H, him. Do it because of God and for him, because all lives matter in his eyes. And I just love that. Like, she gets it. She gets it. And she saw it, and she saw it in action, and she got to see her kids light up, and she got to see her teachers light up, and families lit up, and it was just so good. That's why we do this. And in a few weeks, we're going to do Farwell Elementary School and distribute shoes to them, and we're going to have the opportunity to take volunteers with us to that one, and so get excited for that, get ready for that. It's going to be fun, but we'll celebrate that like crazy. Let's go. I mean, come on. To put shoes on kids' feet, to take care of them, to be the hands and feet of Jesus in our community, that's what we're here for. Like, that's why we exist, to take care of people and to serve people and to show God's love to people. We're moving into a new season. Just a real quick announcement time. And then you can tune back in, okay? Because everyone tunes out for announcements. But don't, because this is important. Small group season is relaunching. It's a new season that is just starting, and we've got at least 3 brand new small groups that are starting up, which is awesome. And so if you are not yet a part of a small group, you can sign up to be a part of one. It is like the secret sauce to what makes Thrive tick, to what helps you grow in community and take things to the next level, to learn how to apply it in your life and to do life together with other people. So get signed up for a small group. At the Core 52 table, you can sign up for that at the end of the experience, or there's links online for the next steps to sign up to be a part of a small group. I know at least 12 new people have signed up for groups. We've got room for a ton more, so get ready, get plugged into that. And also, speaking of the Core 52 table, if you do not yet have a Core 52 book, it's a book that we're working through right now. We're about halfway through it, but we've got lots more to go, and we would love for you to follow along. We're just kind of going week by week, and the book teaches you how to have some of your private disciplines yourself, to take what we talk about on a Sunday morning and work through it during the week and learn how to put that into practice, how to read scripture, how to get something out of it, how to process through that sort of stuff. So it's really important. This week, we're talking about one of my favorite subjects in the world, which is leadership. And I'm just going to go ahead and say, hello, my name is Dave, and I'm a leadership junkie. Hi, Dave. Yes. Like, hi. Yeah. Oh, wow. Okay. Yeah. I love leadership. I love it for a lot of different reasons. One, it's like a heartbeat. It's part of who God made me to be. I love everything to do with leadership. But here's the part I love about it even more. Every stinking one of you is a leader. Everyone is a leader. Everyone has the ability to influence those around them. You may not be a great leader. You may be an excellent leader, but everyone is a leader. Everyone, whether you've identified that or not. If you're a parent, you're a leader. If you are a manager at your business, you're a leader. If you happen to take care of people from time to time, you're a leader. People watch you. People learn from you. Your influence spreads further than you would ever know. But you have the opportunity to lead. One of my favorite leadership positions I've ever had was at CMU. I was the drum major of the marching band for 4 years. It was super duper fun, like so fun. And one of the things that happens at the end of a football game is at CMU, the band goes around to the rock, which is a large rock. It's literally a large rock. It's about here. And as drum major, I would get up on this rock, and I would stand up there, and I would say some words at the end of a game or something. But there's this tradition where you jump off of the rock, and then everyone else jumps around you as if you've just earth shattered or something. I don't know. I don't even, whatever. It is what it is. But I was really good friends with the CMU cheerleading team and the cheerleading coach. And I was like, okay, listen, Pat, you got to teach me how to do a backflip, because I think it would be the coolest thing ever to backflip off of this rock. And he's like, I can teach you. And I'm like, okay, let's do this. I never did it. Because the moment he said, okay, first thing you do is you're going to squat down, and then you're going to use that jump to flip yourself backwards. Yeah, I'm out, I'm done. It sounds really fun, but not going to do it. Not going to do it. And so I never did, but there's part of me that's like, oh, Dave, you had your chance. You had it, but never did. In a few weeks, though, I'm going to practice this, and I'll be back, and I'm going to backflip on this stage. And then I'm going to need EMT on hand. I'm going to need chiropractic on hand, and probably an orthopedic surgeon. But we're going to get through it. It's going to be great. Listen, you guys all know leaders. You've seen leaders. You've experienced people who are what I will call the milk crate leaders. They're the ones who stand on top of a platform because for some reason, platforms are really important to leaders, and I don't know why, but they are. And so you get these people who they've got a message, and they want to make sure you hear it, and you got to know. Actually, even on CMU's campus, for a while there was a preacher who would go out and would just stand on top of platforms and yell at people, and I'm like, what a terrible form of ministry. Nobody wants to listen to you. Nobody wants to do that, and it's the same Jesus, but the approach was just not so great. But you get people who stand on all sorts of different platforms, like pizza should never be eaten cold, which is a terrible platform to stand on. Pizza was meant to be eaten cold and hot and also cold. You should go camping. No, you shouldn't. You shouldn't. And if you do, take Thrive Online with you. It's okay, I won't judge you in front of your face. Or, yeah, country music is good. No, it's not. Side parts and skinny jeans are still cool. Again, no, they're not, but yes, they are. We pick these things and we have our battles, our platforms, and we're like, I need to stand on this, and everyone needs to know where I stand on this, and sometimes that can be really helpful and a really effective tool, but a lot of times we use it really poorly. And it's bad leadership to just stand there. Standing on platforms reminds me of things like the Olympic Games. Olympic Games are a lot of fun. I actually, fun fact, small world story, there was a kid who went to my high school who was in my brother's grade, 2 years older than me. His name is Alex Izakowski. He was a short track speed skater out of Bay City. And he was an Olympic athlete. And when he was in high school, he was training, and we would go and we would watch these trainings. And one day I'm like, I'm gonna go watch him. That'll be fun to go see him at the ice rink. And all of a sudden, he comes out and there's Apollo Anton Ohno right there training with him. And I'm like, oh, the coolest thing ever. I know that kid, and I don't know him, but he's awesome. Like, and you watch this, and Alex never went. I think he got a bronze in a relay in the Olympics, but he never got past bronze. But it was fun to watch. Also, fun fact: bucket list, going to the Olympics. Bucket list. Even bigger, I want to carry the Olympic torch. I don't want to run with it because that sounds like a lot of work. Maybe around the parking lot, I'll just do a couple of circles, but I want to hold it and I want to cook a marshmallow on it. Like that is bucket list, top of the list for me. Like Aruba, sure. Roasting a marshmallow in the Olympic torch, yes. And so if any of you have any connections, can hook me up, I'll accept. But we have this thing as people where we feel like we need to earn ranks, where we need to get on a platform and speak, but not just this platform, we need to move up to the next platform. Because this is better leadership than that's leadership. And then we need to get up here and be the best. Because those are good, but not as good as this. You know, that's the way we picture leadership. That's the way we try to grow. We climb a corporate ladder or we climb a leadership ladder and we try to get to the best position. And if you're like not the natural instinctive leader and you think, I don't really care, I don't want to be there, that looks like more work than down there. I get it. But we all have these opportunities to lead people in front of us and to grow in our leadership. But I'm going to tell you, growing in your leadership doesn't look like moving from there to here to here. That's not leadership. That's not what Jesus modeled. Jesus talked about leadership in a totally different way, in a revolutionary way that changed the way people looked at things, because he came to be a leader and people saw him as a leader, but what he did as a leader was so not normal. It just wasn't. And so we read about this. This is actually the story of the week from Core 52 from the book of Mark. Jesus had his 12 disciples, 12 people that he had handpicked to be his co-leads. Like, you guys are going to do ministry with me. We are going to go places. We are going to do things. We're going to accomplish great stuff. And these 12 are just straight up idiots sometimes. Like they just don't get it. And in hindsight, I'm like, how do you not see that? In the moment, I probably would have been right there with them. Like, I don't get what's going on. But they had this little battle going on where they're like, okay, well, you're kind of cool, but I'm a little bit better than you. And they were competing for ranks inside of these 12, which is dumb because you're one of the 12. That's like, you made it. You made it. You're there. But they had to see who was the best of the 12. And so they had these arguments and these debates to see who was better. And James and John are just the worst of all of them because they're like, okay, hey, Jesus, could you just help settle something? Like, we would love at the end of all of this for one of us to be on your right and one of us to be on your left, like to have the 2 seats of honor. Is that cool with you? Is that cool? Like, we good? Like, can we do that? And Jesus is like, what in the world are you talking about? Like, to sit on my left, to sit on my right, that's not my position to grant. Frankly, that's his way of saying, I don't care. Like, it's not about that. But he's teaching in that moment that leadership of what they are used to seeing is all about rank. It's all about hierarchy. It's all about achieving something. It's getting status. It's being the guy. And the lawmakers of that day, or the Pharisees who taught the law, that's what they were too. Like, come see how good I am. Come see what I can do. I am the best. I'm not in that position or that position. That's where I belong. And they would preach and they would teach that way. And Jesus says, don't be like those rulers who lord it over the people. And this is in Mark 10. He says, you should not worry, or it should not be this way among you. Instead, whoever wants to become great among you must be your servant. And whoever wants to be first must be the slave of all. In other words, what he's saying is, to be a leader, you must be different than what you've ever seen. If you want to lead people, you got to look different than the leaders you've seen before. You've got to be greater. And this is the key verse for the week. It goes on to say, for even the Son of Man did not come to be served, but to serve, and to give his life as a ransom for many. The Son of God, like, if anybody deserves this seat, this platform, that's it. But he's saying, no. That's not where we belong. That's not what we're fighting for. That's not it. Jesus' form of servership, of leadership is servanthood. Serving for him is greater than the soapbox. That's his leadership style, that serving is greater than the soapbox. To stand there and to proclaim that something needs to happen is fine and dandy, but first of all, nobody's going to listen to you. And secondly, it doesn't matter. Show me. Live it out. Then I'll see something. Just grab onto this for a second. In the central Michigan area alone, most of you in this room live in that area. If you're watching, many of you live in that area. There are between 80 and 100,000 people in our community who do not have a church home, who are not part of a Christian community. That bothers me. That can't be. We need to teach people about Jesus. We need to show people Jesus. But that doesn't happen by standing on a platform and just shoving it in their face. That happens by the way that we serve, by the way that we love, by the way that we care, by the way that we're willing to get down on our knees and get dirty and go, how can I help you? And in helping you, I'm going to show you Jesus. That's how we change this community. That's how we change this world. This group of people in this room is awesome. I love this group of people. But there are thousands of other people that we need to be paying attention to also. And we need to be serving, and we need to be getting down in front of them and saying, how can I help you? How can I show Jesus to you? And when you do that, I think you earn the right then to open your mouth. Because you're showing Jesus, and then I can teach you. I can tell you why I'm doing this. But if I just tell you you need Jesus, you can say whatever you want in return. But if I can show you Jesus, you're going to see something. Something can grab. Something can stick. We've got to serve this community because there's no reason we shouldn't be filling up this room with the opportunity to tell people about Jesus. We've got to be serving them and bringing people in and bringing people closer to the heart of God. And I don't just mean just this church. I mean the church. We need to be fighting together. We need to be working together. Philippians 2, verse 3 says, don't be selfish. Don't try to impress others, but instead be humble, thinking of others as better than yourselves. We've got to look different. We've got to look different. Simon Sinek, a current leadership guru, who I love the way he thinks, he says, leadership is not about being in charge. Leadership is about taking care of those in your charge. So the people that you lead, if you're in a leadership position and you know it, take care of the people around you. If you don't know that you're in a leadership position, trust me, you are, because people are watching you. Take care of the people around you. Take care of the people around you. Leadership doesn't happen up here. Leadership happens on the ground. Leadership happens on the ground. If you don't get anything else out of this, take that thought with you. Leadership happens on the ground. Jesus was a servant leader, even to the point of death. He was willing to serve to the point of death, to take care of people, to help them to see and to hear and to witness his message of God's kingdom. In fact, there's one moment in John 13 where Jesus is with his disciples and he gets down on his knees and he washes their feet. First of all, ew, because feet are gross. Some of you, I've seen your feet. Ew. Okay? Others of you I haven't seen, but I'm okay not seeing them. It's fine. Feet are gross. Feet are gross. Stinky and gross. I've got kids with some stanky feet. Not stinky, but stanky. Like next level. Stanky feet. Even at the shoe project this last week, there was one kid where multiple teachers, helpers, whatever, came over and said, whoever helps this kid is going to need a strong stomach. And I'm like, I feel like we need a strong stomach for every one of these kids. What? And to their credit, yes, it was a little next level, but so what? It's about serving. It's about loving. It's about taking care of people. And we put these excuses and these justifications in place well, that one's a little beneath me, or that one's a little too much. Somebody else is going to have to take care of that. That's the first person we're going to help. We're going to take care of them. We're going to serve them. We're going to love them. We're going to, I don't care how stanky your feet are, or how bad they are, or how ugly they are, because feet are gross. In this context, though, this is what was happening. That position of washing feet was a common servant position. There was somebody dedicated in that house to washing feet, and it was the lowest of the servant positions because it's gross. And they were wearing sandals, and it was open roads, and they're traveling back and forth, and their feet get gross. It happens, okay? It happens. And so they would wash them, and they would take care of them. It was a way of welcoming you into the house, welcoming you in, taking care of you, saying thank you for traveling to be here, and also preparing you for the next leg of your journey, that you're fresh and clean and ready to go. And Jesus takes that role in that moment. There was probably somebody who was set up to do that, and my guess is he just said, you know what, you just take the night off. I got this. And he got down on his knees in front of his disciples. Filth, grime, all of it right in front of him. And they're like, Jesus, what are you doing? He's like, you won't understand now. Like, he didn't even try to explain it to them. I love that. Yeah, you guys don't get this. Don't worry. Someday you will. And he goes on in John 13 to say, if I, your Lord and teacher, have washed your feet, you should also wash one another's feet. For I've set for you an example so that you should do just as I have done for you. So you got people who are standing in these ranks who are trying to figure out who belongs here, who belongs here, who belongs here, who belongs in the other room. Like that's what they're doing. And Jesus is saying, yeah, I don't care. I'm going to be down here. Like, this is where I belong. And this is where I'm going to take care of you. And he got down on his knees and he washed these feet. And it's almost like he's saying, it's not my job to decide who among you is the best. It's my job to prepare you for the journey ahead of you. And so, rather than taking this moment to go, yeah, let me just take you up here and put you on this platform and this, no. Let me just get right here where I belong, which is serving you and taking care of you. Because as a leader, I know the greatest thing I can do for you is to prepare you for what's next. To take care of you, to prepare you, and to let you go. My job is not to stand above you and pull you up. My job is not to stand next to you and wrap my arm around you. My job is to be beneath you, serving you, lifting you up, preparing you for what's ahead. It's almost as if you're saying, I don't care what step of the ladder you're on. I don't care if you're the greatest leader God has ever seen, or people have ever seen, or if you have never led anything in your life and you're stumbling around trying to figure out what to do with your hands. Like, I don't care. My position is down here, serving you, taking care of you, washing feet, serving, living, dying for you, to take care of you. That position on your knees is a position of humility, of understanding that I don't belong here. I belong here. I'm going to pray. I'm going to take care of you. I'm going to serve you. That's a posture of prayer, to be down on your knees, recognizing this whole thing is not about me. If anybody had the opportunity to recognize it was about them, I feel like it's Jesus, because it is about him. But in that moment, he said, no. I'm going to take care of you. You're not going to take care of me. I'll be okay. I'm going to help you. I love this position, by the way. It's some of the greatest prayers I've ever had in my life are in this position where I recognize I don't need to be up here. Like, I'm going to meet Jesus down here. Leadership happens on the ground, not up here. So I'm going to get down and I'm going to serve and I'm going to pray and I'm going to seek God. I'm going to ask God, what do you need me to do? How do you need me to lead? How am I going to take care of the people around me? Because I don't have all the answers. I won't pretend to. But I have access to the Father, who knows all the answers and can make anything happen that he needs to see happen. So that's where I'm going to be. I'm going to be here. I'm going to serve. I feel like I've taught my kids pretty well how to pray. Sometimes when they pray, I realize I probably haven't taught them that well. But they're trying, and they're learning, they're growing. And the other day, a friend of ours from the church, Caden, who is one of the greatest servant leaders ever. If you have never met Caden, he is incredible. Caden was in a car accident, and I got a call like literally moments after it happened. Hey, be praying. Like there's so much panic in the voice. I caught kind of what was going on. But I'm with my kids, and they overheard the conversation on the phone. And Elijah, my oldest, is an empathizer. Like he feels all of these things, which I love having him around because I don't always feel those things. I'm a man, you know. No, that's really bad. Men should feel things too. But empathy is not my strongest suit. But I will journey with you every step of the way. I'll be there with you. I'm not going to neglect you. But Elijah's like, Dad, can we pray? Yes, buddy. Yes, we're going to pray. And so it was just me and my kids, and we're sitting on the couch and we're praying. And my kids never pay attention in a prayer. They're all over the place. It's like they're kids or something. But we started to pray, and I looked up, and all three of them are sitting on the couch like this, just focused in on the prayer. And I'm praying. And as soon as I get done praying, I say, amen. And Kenzie goes, amen. And then she looks at me, she says, I have no idea why I just said that. And I'm like, you know what? I'm not even going to explain it to you. It's okay. It's just what we say. It's just what we say when we're done praying. It's fine. And it was just so funny. I'm like, all right, we still have things to learn. We still have things to grow, but we're praying, and that's all that matters. But we exist to be for people and to serve people. Like that's the whole point of this church, is to serve people and to take care of people, to love God, to point people to Jesus, to help people grow in their relationship with Jesus, to take their next steps of faith, and to take care of them. We take care of the people in this church. We take care of people outside of this church. Like we exist for this community, to be God's hands and feet to this community, to take care of them, even when sometimes we don't really know why. Just because. Because that's our role. It's our job, to take care of people. Do they deserve it? Yes. That's it. Just because. To take care of people. And that's why we're doing this whole For Central Michigan campaign to get us into a permanent home of our own. To serve and to take care of our community, to be for our community. And so we're putting kind of the pedal to the metal on that and going, save people, serve people. And so we got to serve people. And one of the greatest ways we know in front of us right now that God's leading us toward is a 7-day-a-week space where we can serve people 7 days a week. And it's going to be incredible. And it's going to be awesome. And it's not for us. It is, but it's not. Like we're going to grow there. We're going to have a great church experience there. It's going to be awesome, but it's for our community, to take care of our community, to serve people, the least, the lost, and the last, as we just heard in the story from Doug, which was fantastic, Doug, by the way. So good. Like that's what we're here for, is to serve the community, to be for them. And so we launched back into this giving wall, which is going great. If you've not yet sponsored an envelope, please pick one up. The number on the envelope represents a dollar amount that you can give toward the building campaign. If you're watching online, just pick a dollar amount that you want to help with, and we'll get the envelope and the whole thing figured out for you. It'll be incredible. But I'm putting this whole thing together to work through a list of some major donors that I'm going to reach out to and try to get some gifts of the $10,000 plus mark. And to just grow some of that so that we can get into a home, so that we can be for Central Michigan, that we can create that space that's going to serve and to love people. But catch this for you personally. Servant leadership is what it's all about. And this is what servant leaders need to know and need to understand. First and foremost, leadership is about people, not projects. You can have the greatest project in front of you. You can have the greatest cause in front of you. But if you miss the people part of it, what are you doing? You can accomplish something okay, but you gotta grow people. You gotta grow people. Grime, filth, and mess are not beneath you. Stanky feet and all. Like, get down there. Erin actually said, boy, after the shoe project, she was like, it's almost like a foot washing. I'm like, yeah, that's exactly what this is, Erin. And then it clicked for her, and she realized, oh my goodness, like there's power in what's happening here beyond just giving people shoes. Yes, absolutely, that's what it is. Servant leaders understand you can only move things as far as you're willing to serve. If you stand up here and point people and where to go, you're not going to get all that far, because they're not going to want to follow you. They don't care. Serve, lead that way. And great accomplishments happen through well-developed people. They don't happen because you have the world's greatest systems and structures and organizational tools. They happen because you care about them. And when you care about people, they care about what you care about. and you learn and you grow and you develop people. It's moving people forward to move the whole mission forward. You got to prepare people. You got to serve them. You got to be down on your hands and knees. A greater life, a greater leader isn't about having a greater position. It's about having a greater posture. And that posture is down here, where you're going to serve. You're going to build people up. You're going to lift them up. You're going to take care of them. Leaders that look like Jesus are never found on the soapbox. They're found on the ground serving. So if you find yourself here, check yourself. Be careful. This can be an okay platform for a moment, but don't live here. Live down here. We're going to talk next week about how to love people while you're down in that position, while you're serving and you're washing feet and taking care of people. We're going to talk about what it means to love them and to love God and to serve that way. So make sure you join us for that next week. But right after Jesus washed his disciples' feet, there was a moment, Jesus washed his disciples' feet, and then there was a moment where he sat with them and took part in what we now know as the Last Supper. So he has served them. He's gotten down in front of them, and he said, this is what it's all about. I'm going to serve. I'm going to take care of you so you can take care of people. But they took part in a meal together. And after having established the fact that leadership doesn't happen there, it happens here, he said, it's going to go a little bit further too. I'm going to die, and my blood will be shed for you. My body will be broken for you. And so he took part in this with the bread and the juice, and he said, take, eat, do this in remembrance of me. And today we're going to have the opportunity to take communion together here in this room and online, and to do it in remembrance and thanksgiving for what God has done, paying the ultimate price, being the ultimate servant for you, and to give you life. And so it's going to be an incredible opportunity. As you come forward here in this room, there's some trays up front on the left and the right, and some little prepackaged things here. Peel off the top layer, and the bread is there. Peel off the layer underneath, and you can drink the juice. And do that at your own timing, in your own seat, just between you and God. If you're at home, take the bread, take the juice, whatever you've got at home, and remember and reflect on what Jesus did, being that ultimate servant for you, to show you how to live, to show you how to lead, to show you what it looks like to take care of other people. And then as we head forward this week, model that, live that. Don't just proclaim that Jesus is your Lord and Savior, show it by the way that you lead, by the way that you model, by the way that you serve. So I'll invite you forward. Come grab some communion, grab some at home, and we'll sing this song, and then I'll come back up, join us out together.